Hello, Mass Attacks here and welcome to Clan Wars. Today I'm going to show you two battles from Iron Age in Clan Wars, and the first battle will be the Tier 10 Russian reward heavy tank. It is the Object 279E, and in the second battle I'll show you the Tier 10 British heavy reward tank, and that is the Chieftan. If you enjoy what you see, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So before we get into the action, I'll show you my crew and equipment that I've currently got on these tanks, and I'll also show you the tactics. My crew on this tank is the best crew I've got in the game. 3 members onto the 8th skill and my load is maxed out on the 7th skill. It is my crew from my Object 705A. On equipment, I've got all bond equipment, so in the Specials 5 ability slot I've got increased shell resistance, so I don't get a bonus. Then in the Special Mobility slot I've got innovative loading system, and then I've got improved configuration. Also use a premium consumable food. On field modifications I have maxed this out, so I get a permanent bonus of plus 3% to vehicle hit points and plus 2% to engine power. Haven't fiddled with any other modifications. So now let's have a quick look at the tactics we're going to use in this battle. So this map is Studzanki. We are spawning in the west in the green base. So first of all we're going to have one EBR. Going to push into the town and then across the middle and see what he can spot. See if we can spot where he's going to push. So second, we're going to use an STRV tank destroyer and we're going to sit him back on the lines. Then we're going to get some mediums. STB1, we're going to use 2 of these, push them onto the hill in the north. Then we're going to get some Object 140s. We're going to use 3. We're going to position 2 onto this little mound there. We'll put 1 behind the hill there so he doesn't get spotted. Then we're going to use 2 heavies, VZ55s, and we're going to push them into the factory. Then we're going to use the Object 279E, which is me, and I'm going to push into the factory as well. Try and use my armour to take some of the shots. Then the rest of the tanks are going to be 277, and our starting position for them is going to be behind that mound, so hopefully they don't get spotted and we can choose when we use our main force. So now let's have a look at the battle. So everybody's on the way to the starting positions. Louis is the FC for this battle and I'm just making my way to the factory. Hope our EBR gets to spot the enemy team so we'll have some idea where they're pushing, where they're located. So I'll quickly tell you the difference from us playing this tank in a random to when I'm playing it in Clan Wars or in advance. The difference is that I'll only be firing gold shells. I might fire the odd HE shell, but it's very rare. So with the gold shells, it is heat, and you do actually get 340 millimeters of penetration, which is excellent, and you can penetrate at a higher angle shooting heat. And it looks like the enemy's pushing. I've snuck a shot into the side of the Chieftain and the enemy look like they're pushing the north. What's happening now is Louis instructed the 277s and the 140 to push onto this ridge line. I'm just letting them get past and then I'm going to push off the ridge line, just seeing if there's any stragglers going to push through the middle of the factory, but it doesn't look like it. So hey, they're pushing, I'm cresting the ridge line. Who can I get first? Focus and fire, and there's a 430U out. Just pull them back while I reload. This is crazy how many's pushing past. I don't want to commit too much by pushing right off. We do seem to have them in a total crossfire. We're firing at them from 4 angles here. There's a Chieftain, nice shot into the Chieftain. Just pull him back while I reload. Now we've just lost our 2 STB1s that were firing from the hill. So I'm trying to support the 2 140s behind that mound by getting shots into that 121B. Trying to ignore the tanks that's pushing into us, so I'm getting a shot into the 907 that's pushing our 140s, just trying to bully that 277 back. Can I help our 140s? There's the back of a Chieftain, might as well take that shot. Pull them back. We've lost our 140s in the hill, but we've got the high ground here. I've taken a shot from a Leopard 1. Can I get a shot into this Chieftain? Shot into the Chieftain. I did overcommit to get that shot into the Chieftain and took a shot, but it was worth it. Now we've taken the tanks out behind us. There's only a 907, so I'm pushing in and I'm going to put my armour in front of these tanks, take some shots for my team. So we've taken the Chieftain out. I've got an injured crew member, so I've used my first aid kit. Just pull him back, and there's another tank gone. Only a Chieftain here, trying to get a shot in, but everybody's pushing in. Can I find a shot into this Chieftain? There he is. You do have to watch you don't fire at your own teammates, because team damage is on in Clan Wars. Manticore up the top, and a 907, and then there's an ABR somewhere. 907's been taken out. People pushing up for the Manticore. I'm just going to keep on pushing, and now the Manticore's been taken out, so I'm going to keep on pushing. We're going to push into the cap, and then the ABR will have to try and reset it. Basically this match is over now, so we might as well just go into the cap out, and if that ABR wants to try and pressure us, he'll be getting taken out as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm thinking about changing to HE, since it is only a light tank. So I've switched to my HE, and what happens now is I've got 68mm of penetration, but I do have 530 alpha damage. No point wasting a heat shell, a gold shell, on the ABR now. So I'm just pushing into the cap. We've got 3 into the cap now. There's the ABR. Can I get a snapshot into him? There's a snapshot. 542 roll, and he's been taken out, and there's the game won. So now we'll get into the second battle, and I am using the Chieftain for this battle. My crew on this tank, really good, all onto the 7th skill. It is my crew from my Super Conqueror. The equipment I'm using in the special survivability slot is improved hardening. And then I've got bond equipment, which is innovative loading system and stabilizing equipment system. And I'm also using the premium consumable food. On field modifications, I have maxed this out, so I get a permanent bonus of plus 3% to vehicle hit points and plus 2% to aiming speed. I haven't filled with any other modifications. So now let's have a quick look at the tactics before we get into the battle. So this is the map for Prokhorovka. We're spawning in the south base. So what we're going to do, we're going to use 3 ABRs, 2 scouting the middle, 1 scouting the little village. Then we're going to use 2 279Es, that's going to play the ridge line here. Then we're going to have a Super Conqueror, and what we're going to do with him is sit him at the back of the lines, use his DPM. Then we're going to have 3 Chieftains, I'll be playing 1. We're going to have 2 Chieftains here in the corner, and I'll be playing up on the hill. Then we're going to use a Leo for his sniping ability. Put him in the bushes somewhere around here. Then we're going to use a CS63, and what we're going to do with him is push him up the hill so he can take the hill quick. Then the 4 remaining tanks are going to either be 140s or 907s, and their starting position is going to be on the train lines here to see if we can spot where the enemy's going to push. So now let's get into the action. So everybody's making their way to the starting positions, and I'm going to make my way onto the top of the hill. So in Clan Wars we did start with 2 teams, and this is team 1, and the FC is Imposter. Just the same as the first battle we've just seen, my ammo loadout is the same. I am just firing gold. As you can see, I've got 30 shells of gold, but I have got 10 shells of HE, which is actually HESH, which is really good on this tank. So I'm pushing up the hill, and as I do, I'll tell you a little bit about this tank because I haven't made a video on this tank yet. So you get 119.38mm gun on it. With your standard ammo you have 270mm of penetration, but since I'm firing gold I've got 322mm of penetration. Your standard ammo and the gold ammo are both APCR, but the benefit apart from the penetration that you do get firing the gold ammo is your shell velocity goes up to 1334 meters per second. So with my crew and equipment on this tank, I've got a reload time of 8.15 seconds, which gives us a DBM of 3237, and then I've got an aim time of 1.85 seconds, which is really good, and a dispersion of 0.31. And also what you get with this tank is 10 degrees of gun depression, and that's one of the key things that makes this tank so good, along with your turret armor. So I'll quickly tell you about the armor on this tank. On the hull isn't anything special. It's 127mm on the front, 88.9 on the side, 48 on the rear. But then on your turret you have 350mm of armor on the front of your turret, 175 on the side and 35 on the rear. Then that's what makes this tank so good playing hull down. Now our ABR that was scouting this little town didn't spot anything, so I pushed into the bushes, which wasn't wise, and I did get shot at by the Chieftain, but I did bounce the shot. So I've pulled back and I get a shot into their ABR. They have got an ABR in this field. Our ABR is pushing forward. The Chieftain's fired at us again, but I blocked it. He's not even firing the gold shells. There's their ABR. Can I get a shot into him? Nice shot into him. I'm pulling back. We're pushing our 140s and 907 through because it doesn't look like they've got much here. And what my role's going to be in this situation is I'm fire support. So the Chieftain's cresting the ridge to get shots into them, and I've managed to get a shot into that Chieftain. I am spotted, just pulling back, but I've drilled the fire. Can I get a second shot into that Chieftain? Didn't penetrate. Pulling back again while I reload the gun, then pushing back up to the ridge line. I'm hidden in the bushes. There's two Chieftains there, I thought there was. So I'm just pushing further forward. No shot into the middle. Tanks are pushing up. They've managed to get up on the top, and now it looks like the enemy's pushing their main force into them. So can I support them well? There's a nice shot into a 140. I'm not bothered if I get spotted now. I can take some shots, just help my team. 140 again, and I've missed that shot. Since the enemy team's committed themselves to this side, we are pushing up in the west, and our 279Es have pushed into the middle, try and keep them super conquerors back. If we can win the main field and keep this hill that I'm on, then we'll have total map control and they'll have nowhere to go, and then we can close in on all different sides. We've lost one tank on this side, a 907 from this main push that has drawn them out. There's the second one. They are a little bit overrun now and in big trouble. I need somebody to push out so I can help support them. And there's the 121B. I snuck a shot into the 121B, but there's only one 140 left. But I'm still holding the hill. Can I get a shot into that Chieftain? Missed the shot into the Chieftain, and our final 140's been taken out. There's a shot from the Chieftain, but I did absorb it in my tracks and get a shot into him. So I've got the hill still, but our little force has been taken out, and they're all down here, but I've managed to get a sneaky shot into that Chieftain, and now I'm pulling back and they're all going to try and push my position. If I just stay hull down, I will bounce these shots. Now this wasn't a great move by myself. I did over peak, and they have got tanks that's pretty much on my level that can get shots into us, so that wasn't a great move by me. So I'm just pulling back a bit, but I did manage to take the 121B out. Now I'm sitting back on this ridge line, and what we're hoping for is for them trying to push over the ridge line. And there's a shot into the Chieftain and all that support coming from the middle, so he got taken out. Now there's two tanks pushing in. Focus the lowest hit point, 140 taken out. He's a 907 trying to get round the side of us, but I do have support in the CS63 with us. He's trying to circle us to death. I tried to take his track off but failed, but still managed to get a penetrating shot in. Now he's trying to get me, but my teammate is trying to shield us. Another shot into the 907, and he's been taken out. Great help from my friend there. So only two Chieftains left, so back to the ridge line. Wall pushing in. We've got them from three sides, so they've got nowhere to go. And as the team push forward into them, I'll see if they make mistakes and try and farm them. And there's one Chieftain taken out. Only one Chieftain left. Hasn't really got anywhere to go. 279E and the ABR moving in. Can I sneak a shot into his cupola? That was nowhere near. Now the rest of my team is pushing in, and I'm going to stay here and change to me Hesh rounds see if I can get him while he's hull down. With these HESH shells, I get 140 millimeters of penetration and I get 530 alpha damage, but the shell does have to penetrate to get that damage. Tried a second shot, I might have taken him out with that second shot, but he's been taken out and there's the win. So I'm not showing you me after battle stats because my stats don't matter in Clan Wars. It's a team battle, it only matters if you win or lose. So I'd like to thank you for watching today's battle. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like and comment. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. There's a little icon in the bottom left hand corner. Cheers.